So Rhonda's going to be joining us from Schmetz Needles. So Rhonda, hopefully you got my invitation. Let's see. Oh, hey Rhonda, how are you?
Hello, Abby.
Nice to see you.
Wonderful to see you. I'm here in the Chicago area.
Is it freezing?
Of course, it's freezing, and that's okay. I'm a four-season person.
Oh, well, see, you have a positive attitude about it. I am like a big whiner about the weather. So it's freezing here in Boston too, but I am not so upbeat about it. But
Yeah.
that's good to hear. So, Rhonda, I love seeing you. I've seen you at many different shows, I feel like, over the last many years, whether it's Quilt Market, H&H, but you travel a ton.
I do. And you know what? I just got my year-end report from Southwest Airlines, and I took 24 flights with Southwest last year, and that doesn't even include Swiss Air to Germany and multiple trips to Canada. So,
That is
yes.
amazing. 24 is more than twice a month you are on an
Yeah.
airplane. Probably sometimes three times in a month. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I've given over almost 70 classes this year, either virtually or in person. So, yeah, no complaints.
That is great. I love it. So tell us why it is that you're always on airplanes traveling. What is it that you do that you're so enthusiastically traveling from place to place sharing?
Well, you know what? The world loves to sew. They love to sew, they love to quilt, they love to create. And I think one of the most overlooked items in our sewing machine is the little 2-inch piece of steel, the Schmetz needle. And the needle can really make a huge difference in your sewing, and it can really elevate your stitches if you're having problems. So my mission is to educate my sewing, quilting, creative public about the Schmetz needle. So I've been averaging over 100 classes, either virtually or in person, annually since the pandemic. So
That is
the
amazing.
pandemic did serve Schmetz and myself very
I'm
well
sure.
as far as education.
Yeah, yeah, I love that giant needle that you just showed us. That's pretty
Yeah,
amazing. So I always sew with Schmetz needles. I have actually like a giant box of them in front of my sewing machine. I bought like a mega box because
yeah.
it's always important to replace your needle and you need to do it more often than you think. So what are some of the myths that people have about needles and sewing machine needles in particular, and sort of help us to understand a little bit better, the function that they play and some things that are maybe some
Sure.
of the things people don't know about them.
Well, first, let me just say needles don't last forever.
Right.
If you're sewing, they do get dull with use. So I try to emphasize that, yeah, needles get dull with use. I'm not just trying to sell people needles,
No.
but if you want to elevate your stitches, really changing and using the appropriate needle is necessary. So one of my missions is to elevate the respect for the hardest working 2-inch piece of steel in the sewing machine, the Schmetz needle. I hope to remove any mystery they might have about the needle, like, well, what do all these little numbers mean on the little Schmetz needle pack? So I talk about the meaning of all of these numbers, and like, Abby, do you know what 13705H means?
I
It's a
definitely
number
don't.
that you see on all of your home sewing machine needle packs.
I definitely don't. And I do get confused by those numbers, like when they go up and down, like what that means. I definitely am like, I'm always sort of like, is this the right one?
Right, right. Well, 13705H is a needle system. What that means is the needle has a flat shank
Yeah.
and a little indentation on the back side of the needle above the eye, and it's appropriate for your home sewing machines. So 98% of all of our home sewing machines require needle system 13705H. So it's not a number to be intimidated by, but it's an important number to know. The other information that you find on your little Schmetz needle pack, and maybe I can show, let me see, is needle
Yes.
size. Let me
There we
see
go.
here. Needle size is currently at the bottom of your needle pack, but you're going to be seeing some changes in the next year or two with the needle size actually being moved to the top of the package.
Okay.
So little changes that'll be coming forward. Hopefully from my education, both in person and virtually, I'm hoping to increase confidence in needle selection. So there is no needle police. So I like to give guidelines as to what needle type and size to use for sewing with knits, piecing and quilting, machine embroidery, sewing with novelty fabrics, etc.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I did, I do for my virtual classes, is I actually bundled needles for specific uses. So this little bundle here is appropriate needles for piecing and quilting. And then I have other bundles too for sewing with knits, etc. So I try to provide guidelines.
Right. And tell us a little bit about Schmetz as a company. I mean, where is it based? How long has it been around? Because I feel like we always see this Universal Needle brand when we're at the store, but maybe don't know its
Right.
history or all about
Well,
it.
in a few years, Schmetz will be celebrating their 200th anniversary or 175th anniversary. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So
For
that's pretty exciting. It's a German company. And in 2010, I was actually there at the Schmetz campus and saw the production of some of the specialty needles that were made. Schmetz has since designed and rebuilt and relocated their factories to India. So they're still German engineered, but now they're made in India. I work for Euronotions here in the Chicago area. I like to think that we're a small but mighty company. And my mission is to work with the Schmetz product line and to create loyalty and trust and sales, etc. So I'm coming up on 19 years of working with the Schmetz product line, and I have to say, the people that I work with, my colleagues, are fantastic because I don't do this job alone. But our sewing public, my sewing public, is really fantastic. They're inspirational, they're creative, and they've got ideas, and I love to listen and see what projects that they're working on. So I'm actually going to Germany, to Schmetz, Germany, in about 2 months. They have a new testing facility. So I'm really excited to get involved with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree with you that people who sew are super creative and fun to be around and are always working on interesting things. And I think, it's really important to get educated about the different tools that you're using, because once you understand them, how they're designed, why they're designed the way that they are, you use them better, and then the quality of what you're able to make improves. So
Exactly.
that education is so important.
Well, I get thank you notes from around the world, and some of the notes will say, oh my gosh, I've been sewing for decades.
Right.
Thank you for finally educating me.
Yeah, because you're
The
sort of
needle
guessing.
really makes a difference.
It's right. Take the guesswork out of it and just understand it. And I know you've got a lot of guides. When I've met with you in the past and you've shown me all of the different varieties, there are guides that you can get, because it's a lot of information and a lot of numbers, where you can keep that by your sewing machine and refer to it when you're like, what did she say? What does this mean?
Exactly. So these are my 3 primary brochures. I have one specifically for guilds. I have one for kids or adults that are just learning to sew. It's not as intimidating. But the meat and potatoes to Schmetz needles is the ABC Pocket Guide. So everything you need to know about your needle is right in here. Needle facts. You can see behind me, I have an 8-foot banner with the Schmetz color chart. So that chart is in here so you can easily identify your needle. All of the different needle types are photographed. We tell you what the features are, the benefits, and special uses. And for me, the most important page is page 11, clues to change the needle.
Right.
So, and the other thing I want to say, Abby, is this ABC Pocket Guide, if your viewers go to their local store to buy their Schmetz needles, they can ask the dealer, hey, I saw Rhonda's presentation with
Okay.
Abby on the ABC Pocket Guide. Do you have that? And a lot of the dealers will give it to you for free. But guess what? There's an app too.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
yes, you can go to Schmetz Needles, all one word, schmetzneedles.com, and under resources, you can download this right into your phone, so it's always handy. And one of the things I like about not only the print edition, but also in the online version, is a guide to or recommendations as to what needle type and size to use for different types of fabrics. So we have some fabrics that are listed here in the back cover of the ABC Pocket Guide. But when you download the app or view it from our website, schmetzneedles.com, you'll see over 100 different types of fabrics alphabetically listed with specific needle types and size listed. So, you know, it used to be that we worked with cotton fabrics. That was the mainstay. But you know what? In today's world, fabrics are changing. There's so many different varieties. It's hard to keep up. So if you're sewing with bamboo or cork or stretch fabrics, you'll find them listed in the ABC Pocket Guide or in your Schmetz app.
That's great to know. And you know, making something by hand, part of what we love about it is it takes a lot of time. And you know, sometimes it costs a lot of money as well because you want to buy nice fabric and you need notions, etc. So if you're going to invest the time and you're going to invest the money in making something by hand, you really should have the right needle in your sewing machine so that it's stitching for you efficiently, it's not making holes that are too big
Yep,
or creating a mess, etc. So you
yep.
got to have the right tool for the job, and that way you have you can get more into that flow state that we're always looking for, that state where you're just making and time goes by and you don't even know what time of day it is.
Right. Oh, wow. Being in the
Right.
groove. That's a wonderful place to be when you're sewing. And let's see, what was and think about it. The needle is the least expensive
That's
part
true.
to your machine.
Right. That's so
So
true.
when you're having problems maybe with skip stitches or wonky stitches, what's the first thing you should do? Oh, change your needle
Right.
or try a different needle type. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Rhonda, this is fabulous. I love the product, and I think you're the person to know if you need training. And it sounds like you do go to guilds as well. And what if somebody listening is thinking, oh, I would love to book you to either do virtual or an in-person sort of training for my people? How does that work?
Yeah, just go to the website, schmetzneedles.com, and you can contact me through there. It'll get routed to me.
Okay.
The other thing I'll just mention is that I do have a monthly newsletter, and you can sign up for that from schmetzneedles.com. Also, after 20 seconds on the website, you get one of those irritating pop-ups that says sign up for the newsletter. And I have to say, my monthly newsletter is very, very special because of the readership. I have anywhere from a 68 to 72% open rate. And I try to not be frivolous, but provide information that is useful and inspirational, along with some needle facts that are sprinkled in. So check that out. Sign up for the newsletter. Also, the first Wednesday of every month on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, I go live with a Schmetz snippet, which is about 45 minutes. If I'm traveling, I'll invite guests to come in to talk about their designs, their products, their experiences, etc. If I'm here in the Chicago office where I'm at right now, I will open it up to Q&A, and I'll ask people to post questions, and I'll answer